How are you doing this, Martin from Gardens for Life? This video is a little bit of a tribute for those students that came to visit. Thanks to Wayne and Amanda from the Loch Allen Horticultural School. So first we gave them a tour of the gardens, and then we gave them some practical experience as well. We were doing a bit of no-dig gardening and a bit of practical experience in mulching a shelter belt as well. If you're interested in workshops or walk and talks, which is basically just a detailed tour of our gardens, please take a look at our website. We always have events coming up year round. And we also have a seed swap and a seed and plant swap coming up on the 5th of June. So definitely take a look at the website. It'll be going up shortly, it'll be announced. It is a bit of a windy day today, so I don't think we'll be spreading any seaweed dust or volcanic rock dust on the garden beds today, but we can do that at a later stage as well, even after the crops have gone in. So let's see how far we get. We have a van load of cardboard that we picked up from a furniture place, and we should be able to cover the whole shelter belt, hopefully. And the trees will actually grow much better as a result when the grasses are not choking the roots below, stealing sugar from the photosynthesizing trees. Yep, grasses actually do that type of thing. That's why you want to keep grasses away from your cultivated plants. Usually cultivated varieties of both trees and herbaceous perennials, or even vegetables, same thing. Anything that's been bred or that's cultivated to yield certain results, you'll find that they're less resistant to disease, of course, but also more susceptible to competition from other plants that are actually native to, or that are, I should say, that are doing very well here in your particular climate. Because of course plants that have already been here, I always call it the existing vegetation, already has an advantage because it's already adapted to this particular microclimate even, and to the soil as well. So the root systems will also be well established, which is why you need to make sure that you smother the grasses properly before putting down your no-dig garden beds. Either we use 2 layers of cardboard, nice thick cardboard from a furniture place or a bicycle shop, or we might use some plastic for 6 months in the summer, 6 months in the winter and 2 months in the summer. As you can see, this front garden has come on nicely. It was all just wood chips maybe a month ago, and things really started growing. Of course, a lot of these are perennial plants, so they've already got the root system established for the new growing season. Unlike annuals, they're still in the infant stage, so to speak. Just about being planted out around May into the garden beds. But the perennials are far superior, as you can see. They've already put on this much wood, look at that, 25 centimeters, that's a buffalo currant. And the herbaceous perennials too, like the valerian has grown about 2 foot tall already. And our favourite, great mullein, what a plant, also known as cowboy's toilet paper. And it makes this lovely yellow flowering stalk, towering up about 6 to 8 feet. And it flowers for an awful long time, bringing in all the beneficial insects. And the leaves plus the flowers are also medicinal for different purposes. Okay, so we'll see how we get on. We'll see how far we get with what wood chips we have and mulch it just a little bit so that the cardboard doesn't blow away. But the main thing is to get the cardboard wrapped around the trees. So we're just taking the tape off the cardboard. So you can see here how we coloured all the trees, and then we just fill in the gaps with extra bits of cardboard and overlapping it well. You can see anywhere there's green popping through, we'll just cover it with cardboard, and then we'll put something along the edge. Yeah. And don't worry if you're not getting it all, you can always put another layer on top anyway, there's no problem. I'll just show you over here. You can see here we already put a bit of compost on the edge of the cardboard so that it stays down and doesn't get blown away by the wind until we put down some wood chips. So we have all the trees coloured now, and all the grasses are well smothered. I don't think they're going to come through. No. And even if they do, some of the perennial weeds like the briars, I guess, might come through. But by the time they do, they'll be easy to pull up. So we'll cover them with wood chips now. So you can take old wood chips or new wood chips. The only advantage is if the wood chips are older, then they'll break down easier and they'll feed the plants. And if they're new wood chips, you can plant mycelium, which is just a root to the mushrooms. So you can plant or inoculate your wood chips with wine cap mushroom, for example, and that's a culinary mushroom, and you can just have an extra crop out of your shelter bed. So we'll just dump that out. Always do that, and then it kind of spreads it already. You could use a rake then, or you can just keep it about, I'd keep it about 10 centimeters thick, but we don't have much wood chips here at the moment. We need to get another load. But for the time being, we'll just cover it a little bit just to stop the cardboard from getting blown away by the wind.
That will smother the weeds, they'll never come up again.
Yeah. But we'll top that up with a bit more wood chip, maybe every year or two.
Yeah, we done one time in a house.
We'll start with about 4 inches worth, and then we'll top it up by an inch every year or two. But you don't have to. You can always do it every 3 or 4 years. So when you're starting off, so you want to smother the grass, you can put down your cardboard, and then you can put your compost on top for the no-dig beds, or you can smother the grass with plastic for a few months first. This was all completely smothered before we put the compost down. It was basically just the soil, no grass at all left after maybe 6 months of leaving the plastic down. And we got the neighbour with the front loader to help us with the compost. He brought it from the pile to here, and he just dropped it in. Now, if you can get him to dump the pile elsewhere and then bring the compost in bit by bit, that's better, because then you don't compact it. You don't have to drive over the stuff that's already here. So, but if we actually got some 2 piles dumped, one here and one here, and that's why some of it is a bit compacted at the bottom of the pile. So we just use a fork, and only the first time we will actually basically fork it a little bit just to air it out a bit, because we were walking on it a little bit. But after this now, we will not be walking on it anymore. We'll only be walking on the paths anymore after this. So once it's established, so you can see here, we don't need to do much, we just do this. You can also use a broad fork for that, but a hay fork is much cheaper. A broad fork is very expensive. So we'll just do this, and we'll try to level it just a little bit, because we have a little bit too much here, and we'll try to just put down a good depth in all places. So here you can check how deep it is by just digging, and then whenever you can feel the roots of the grasses underneath. Look, there, I can't push that down now, so we know that's the bottom. So we're about that depth here, so I might just take a bit of it and put it over there. So we want to end up with a fairly even thickness so that we can grow our crops here, and they're all going to be about the same. We're going to have the same opportunity in terms of root space, and that's it. We'll just give you an example of how we make the path exactly. So on the outskirt where the garden bed meets the grasses, we'll put down a meter of plastic, usually black plastic we use, like builder's plastic for example, and we just bring it up and back down so that we block the grass, and we put wood chips on top. And from that pad we will just do our garden bed here. So we'll just walk a straight line. Okay, so now I have a line, and then we just walk sideways, just stomping the compost down. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Okay? And then we might do that one more time, just to walk over it a little bit.
Be perfect.
And now we know where the pat is, and we simply take some of these wood chips and we just pour them on top. And it makes a nice clean pat. Okay? Spilled a little bit here. But that's the idea. So look, now everyone knows where the pat is, even if you haven't been here before. And we'll do that all the way to the end. And to make the next pat, we simply take, instead of having a measuring tape, you simply take a big step like this, and then you have your next, the next bit, and then you can do the same thing. Do the same thing at the end here, like that. And then we can do the same thing again, just like that, roughly in the middle, and then we make our next pat. And that leaves us with a nice 2.5 foot bed, or 75 centimeters. And there's a reason why that's important, because we can step over the bed, but we can also reach the middle of the bed very easily. You see that? I'm not bending my back to reach it, right? So that we can weed and service the plants, or plant things in it, or harvest things. So you can do that from both sides.
Hello, how are you now?
Hi.
That's Bianca. She's the bringer of the goods. And that's it. And then you can plant straight into that now. And you can see, it's very malleable, so you can pull weeds up very easily from that, if they get in the first place. And the only way weeds are going to settle is from seeds blown in by the wind. So they'll be easy, but you got to keep on top of it though. That's the only thing. But if you do, you have 98% less weeding to do in a regular garden. Isn't that lovely? It's going to be a lovely new garden. And here's the briars that were just in half of the shelter belt. Can't wait to get that finished and get this garden into production as well.